So it seems like Microsoft is very confident about their Xbox Game Showcase coming this Sunday, to the point where Aaron Greenberg is not going to even try to temper any expectations despite all the hype surrounding this show. Let's look into this. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So Xbox Game Showcase is just around the corner, and as always every year the hype is through the roof. So this is not the first time we see that happening. That did happen many times before. That actually happens every single year, to be honest with you, because as always people come out with all kinds of different rumors every day now, right? Some seems like real, others not really. And I'm not saying that some of these crazy rumors not going to happen. Who knows? We may get some surprises, but I like to temper my expectations, but it looks like Microsoft don't plan to temper any expectations, despite the fact that they did that in the past. I'm sure you remember that, the hype is through the roof every year, and Microsoft, or Aaron Greenberg in this particular case, would come out and tweet out something like, hey, I understand the hype, we love the enthusiasm and stuff, but I wouldn't temper my expectations towards the show and that kind of stuff. Because let's face it, Xbox guys, the CEOs, they do see a lot of these rumors in the press and everything, right? So they know what people talk about for the most part. So they know what people would love to see or they expect to see. So now with Aaron Greenberg coming out and saying this, that's actually something new, right? So, hey, if last 2 years were actually pretty good when it comes to these shows, I would give them 8 out of 10 in last 2 years, really. So who knows? Maybe this time around we're going to get even better show. Okay, so the tweet I'm talking about here is this one. So this is Aaron Greenberg from like 3 days ago, where he was basically just announcing Xbox Game Showcase and everything, right? Mark your calendars if you love games. That was the original Xbox tweet, and Aaron Greenberg basically said 7 days until our first ever double feature, roughly 2 hours of non-stop games, and Starfield. Starfield is a game too, right? So there we go. That's also a confirmation that this show is going to be around 2 hours, right? So, people say that that's probably going to be 90 minutes of the Xbox Game Showcase show, and Starfield Direct is probably going to be around 25, maybe 30 minutes. But the most interesting thing about this tweet is that Elrond Gaming replied to this Aaron's tweet saying, Aaron, I recommend posting the famous temper the expectation tweet. Some podcasts have mentioned crazy expectations for the Xbox Game Showcase. I think the show will be great, and many of the previously announced games will be there, in addition to new surprises. To which Aaron Greenberg, funny enough, did not say to temper expectations. What he said was actually no plans to tease, temper, or spoil anything. Love seeing all the wild expectations. My advice is just to come in open-minded and enjoy the ride. Appreciate the years of hard work so many teams have put their heart and soul into this for you all. So there's actually two things I want to talk about when it comes to this particular tweet. So obviously the first one, which talks about the fact that, hey, he doesn't plan, there's no plans to temper any expectations. So looks like at least some of these rumors and, some of the wild rumors may be true. We don't really know which ones, right? So I'm not going to be talking about them over here, but so that's one thing. So that's good. So that means that at least some of the rumors, maybe Fable. I would expect Fable because why would they tease Fable like that if Fable wasn't supposed to be there? But guys, it might be the Fable collection. Maybe we will see Gears collection, right? I mean, Phil Spencer was talking about showing some collections during the show, during that showcase. He mentioned that in one of the interviews a couple of weeks ago. So that may be Fable collection, that may be Gears collection, who knows, right? I would not be surprised if Coalition Secrets project was actually kind of like a remake in Unreal Engine 5 of the original games, because I guess maybe it doesn't make much sense for Xbox crowd, because pretty much all Gears games except Gears Judgment, they have been enhanced for Xbox Series consoles. So that, Gears 1 has not been enhanced, but it has the Ultimate Edition from Xbox One, which is 1080p 60. Looks great, plays great. Gears 2, that's 1440p 60, and Gears 3 as well, 1440p 60 on Xbox Series X. So like for Xbox gamers, I guess it doesn't really matter, but when it comes to PC players, like none of the original games except the first one have been ported to PC. So it's kind of weird, because PC players have the first Gears, they miss Gears 2 and 3, and then they've got Gears 4, right? So that kind of doesn't make sense. So I think that it would make sense for Gears 6 to be there. Gears collection, sorry, the Gears 6, Gears collection to be there. I don't think we're going to see Gears 6. There's been some rumors and speculation about it, but I think it's too early. Last year they said that they just started, and they are actually still working on the tools, and they are moving to Unreal Engine 5. So I don't think they've got much when it comes to content for Gears 6. But hey, that's just my opinion. Who knows? So it would make sense for that collection. Also, I expect Fallout 4. I don't know how to call it. An update or remaster, because not remake, remaster, because I'm sure remember that Bethesda did announce that we should get Fallout 4 kind of big next gen update for this game, right? So that may be announced on Sunday, and that may be a shadow drop too. So hey, that's my prediction. So obviously there's all kinds of weird predictions and rumors and other stuff. But let's talk about the second part of this tweet, because I think that's very important. He says, appreciate the years of hard work so many teams have put in their heart and souls into this for you all. Okay, so it feels like there's going to be some big stuff going on there. So we're not really talking about obviously they did confirm that there's not going to be CGI only trailers. There will be some mixture of trailer and gameplay kind of trailers and stuff. But it feels like this feels like big. In my opinion, like it feels like they may have some big announcements there. And some of these announcements may actually have, they will be showing gameplay. So maybe that's why he's so proud to show these games finally in their, not necessarily final form, because they are not in the final form until they released. And sometimes even that's not really the thing, right? Sometimes even after the release, they are not in the final form. We still have to, sometimes with these games, we have to wait like 6 months for the patches and fixes. And Skyrim still have bugs, I guess, right? But it is what it is. But it feels like they will have some big stuff on the, during the show. So that's good. And I would love to have an update on Stalker 2. I keep saying that, but I will die on this hill. I want some Stalker 2 news, especially after all the bad stuff was happening with that studio, or to that studio really, because it's, I mean, yeah, war in Ukraine and the latest Russian hack attack and stuff, right? So it is what it is. So yes, listen, Microsoft really feels confident. I don't want to overhype this show anyway. And I know I keep saying this. I'm planning a prediction video. Well, I guess probably tomorrow, or maybe after Summerfest, or maybe on Friday. We'll see how that goes. So I will keep my expectations in check. I don't want to overhype stuff. The thing is that sometimes things look good on paper, but paper doesn't always translate well to the real life. Meaning, I'll give you a great example. If somebody showed me a list of games with titles, and maybe not what type of games they would be, but titles and the developer, I'm talking about PlayStation Showcase. If somebody showed me the list of games that PlayStation did show, but somebody would show me that list before the show, before I saw the show, I would go through the show. I would say that's going to be a great show, guys. Why? Because looking at the list, I would see Bungie new game Marathon. I wouldn't know much about it except, the original games that Bungie did for Macintosh computers. I mean, they were ported later for PC, but that's another story. Then New Haven game, Spider-Man, Metal Gear Solid, right? And a couple of other titles, right? If just looking just at the list, I would say, oh, that's going to be a fire show. But then you watch the show, and not only a lot of these first party games were games as service, so not really my type of games, or games as service only, I would say, because I don't mind games like Halo, where I've got campaign and a little bit of multiplayer here and there. Same with Gears, that's fine. So yeah, I got that. So not only a lot of these games were games as service, then there were CGIs. So the CGI doesn't really tell me much about the game per se, like especially new game. I get, like, for example, with State of Decay 3, I know what to expect because that's going to be third game in the genre, right? I mean, yeah, there will be some new mechanics for sure and better graphics, but I kind of know what to expect, right? It's going to be killing zombies basically, right? So like looking at the list may look good, but when it comes to the actual presentation and how stuff is being presented, that's another story. And that's why a lot of people were so disappointed, especially PlayStation guys, because PlayStation guys, I don't really want to say that they hate the games as service, but they are not the biggest fans of, if you know what I mean. They cherish these first parties, singles, player, story-driven kind of games, and there wasn't a lot of that there, right? I mean, yeah, especially when it comes to exclusive content, right? So it is what it is. Like, that's why I don't want to, hearing some stuff about, that's fine, right? But, hearing about something and then actually seeing that in action, that's two different stories, right? I mean, a game, a concept can actually sound great on paper when somebody reads this to you, but when you actually see that concept in a form of a video game, that stuff sometimes doesn't really translate well to the actual game mechanics and that kind of stuff. That's why I don't want to get too hyped about this show. That's why I will keep my expectations not necessarily low. I know this is going to be probably a very good show anyway, but yeah, I don't want to expect every single rumor to be there, if you know what I mean, every single rumored game to be there, because that's obviously not going to happen anyway. So anyway, guys, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm still looking forward to the show. I hope they will deliver. I I hope there's going to be a ton of Xbox Game Pass games too. I mean, obviously every single first party game is going to be in Game Pass anyway day one, but I'm talking about some other third party announcements too. So I'm really looking forward to it, and I will be watching it. I will report on that after the show. No live coverage. I will just get myself a couple of drinks and some chips, and I'll be watching with my son next to me. So yeah, we'll have some fun, and I will have some fun watching tomorrow's show as well, probably with my son, at least part of it. So anyway, guys, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about it. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care.